Welcome everyone to our channel. Now I'm going to talk about Donald Trump has a problem as the coronavirus threatens the US. Trump has a problem as the coronavirus threatens the US, his credibility. Even his ally worried that Mr. Trump has undermined his ability to appear presidential in a moment of national emergency. Washington. When Hurricane Dorian crashes into the Atlantic coast in September, President Trump assumed a taken role in response. But he undermined his own effectiveness after it became apparent that before displaying the map in front of the television cameras in the Oval Office, he adopted it with a severe band to match his inaccurate forecast of where the storm was headed. For years, experts have warned that Mr. Trump has been squandering the credibility he could need the moment of national emergency, like a terrorist attack or a public health crisis. Now, as the coronavirus race across the globe and has begun to threaten the United States, Mr. Trump could fear a moment of reckoning. Maintaining the calm and an orderly response during an epidemic, in which countless lives could be at stake, required that the president be reliable public messengers. I think the president has a unique opportunity to dispel fears and calm the situation. If people believe he is telling the truth, said Kathleen Sebelius, who served as Secretary of Health and Human Services in the Obama administration, and I think that greatly where a great disconnect occurs. On Wednesday evening, Mr. Trump delivered an almost casual account of the administration's response to the coronavirus, leaving it to the expert appearing with him to relay the real information that assure a jittery public. Still, he kept trying to suggest the risk was low. We will see what happens. The president said that he addressed the nation. But we are very ready for this, for anything. Ms. Trump said that Johns Hopkins University raised the United States no one for being prepared, holding up a chest printed on an 8 and 1/2 by 11 sheets of paper. This will land, he said, comparing the coronavirus to the everyday flu. We really have done a very good job. During the crisis, presidents are looked to for direct and honest assessment of the risk and for reassurance to the public about their impact. During the swine flu outbreak of 1976, President Gerald R. Ford announced at a news conference that the government plans to vaccinate every man, woman, and child in the United States. Mr. Ford himself was photographed receiving the vaccine in the White House at the pass of the public awareness campaign. Responding to the Ebola outbreak in West Africa in 2014, President Barack Obama visited the Center of Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta to announce that the administration would send as many as 3,000 people to the region. Mr. Trump, in contrast, contradicted his star health experts in a new conference Wednesday evening, insisting that the spread of the virus was not inevitable, and incorporating two of his favorite voices, Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senator Chuck Schumer, the minority leader, for trying to create a panic. For 3.5 years, Mr. Trump has repeatedly proved an unreliable narrator on a range of subjects. At times, he has exaggerated threats, like taking up the caravan of migrants he claimed were storming the southern border before the 2018 midterm election. Other times, he has minimized potentially serious dangers that could be politically damaging, like the renewed nuclear threat posed by North Korea after the failure of his talk with its leader, Kim Jong-un, and now the global spread of the coronavirus, which he has persistently tried to play down. In his response to the coronavirus, Mr. Trump has made inaccurate or questionable claims, twice misstating the number of Americans infected with the virus and insisting that it miraculously goes away when warmer spring weather arrives, a prediction that health experts have said is premature. He based that prediction on a comment made at one of his briefings, when an expert noted that temperature can affect the spread of viruses. Mr. Trump has still that data points that invited is staying in public and in private to gas and his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach. flagged that the global outbreak will be behind him by April. The president, as he often does, has also focused on coverage of his response, complaining that he is being treated unfairly and blaming the news media. If the virus disappeared tomorrow, they would say we did a really poor and even incompetent job, he tweeted on Tuesday. Not fair, but is it what is it? So far, by the way, we have not had done that. Let's keep it that way. Before he took office, Mitt Trump was an outspoken critic of the Obama administration handling of the Ebola outbreak, arguing that affected people should not be allowed back into the United States. Current Trump allies said the fact that the president chose to address the growing public health crisis quickly after returning from a trip to India showed how seriously he was taking the outbreak. But bravely, they say he has been reluctant to give in to what he has called an alarmist view of the virus' potential to cause damage as he warily watches the effects of the outbreak on the stock market. He has been rattled by the Wall Street's reaction to the spread of the virus in places like Italy, lashing out at the news media and tweets and accusing journalists of intentionally trying to harm the stock market. And polls show that Mitt Trump's credibility with much of the United States is low after Trump's investment in Security, in which a majority of the voters said they did not believe that he was telling the truth about his action involving Ukraine. Federal health officials has been bracing for the arrival of the virus in the country with minimal intervention by the White House. As Ebola presented both the health and political threats to his administration in 2014, Mitt Obama carefully held to proven science, which he repeatedly invoked in his carefully calibrated public messages. We have to be guided by science. We have to remember the basic fact, he said in an October 2014 radio messages. Mitt Trump, in contrast, had not been focused on scientific detail. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, Alex Azar, has told officials they should give the notoriously impatient president symbol, banned by numerous briefings on coronavirus. But a lot of fear among experts in the field has been that he would contradict scientific word. That's why Trump is more pernicious potentially, said Ron Klain, who served as Miss Obama advisor and now is an advisor to the presidential campaigns of former Vice President Joseph Biden. When he contradicts those experts, when he suggests they have behavior, or when he intimidates them not to be strained, that's when the risk really grows. And Mitt Trump phrased this emergency. His history of pursuing false claims could make it harder to tell the public of any plans to address coronavirus. When they're trying to build trust in the government response, people have to have trust, said Leslie Dett, a senior consular at Health and Human Services during the Ebola outbreak. Making failed promises and them turning out not to be true undermines people's confidence, Mitt Dett said. He pointed to Mitt Trump's claim this month about the virus that we did shoot it down, yes. As recently as this week, the president appears to simply want to put the coronavirus response in his rearview mirror. I think that's the problem that's going to go away, he said in remarks on Tuesday to a group of business leaders in the New Delhi. On Wednesday, before Mitt Trump's new conference, he said live on television and radio appeared to be speaking to the proverbial audience of one as they sought to give their associated advice to the president. Jason Miller, a top advisor to Mitt Trump's 2016 campaign who hosts a podcast that is currently focused on the coronavirus, tweeted that the president had to make clear full administration working around the clock on this, and explaining every day, layman's terms what we need to both do and avoid to remain safe. you like this and just like and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching and see you later in the next video.